Hello friends and family from around the world. This is Mike with the Morning Dew Daily Events Worldwide, and we're on January 3rd, 2021. Welcome to another surviving day on the planet, and welcome to the World Report, where we look at space weather, world weather, and earthquakes, volcanoes. Looking here at only the last 48 hours from 2020. I'm not sure what's happening here, but with Solar Dynamics Observatory, normally they have a 48-hour image available. They haven't had one available since January 1st. So these are old images right now. Unfortunately, the only thing we have are stills, and there is no space weather to talk about really. The only thing we had was the Earth-facing coronal hole. Looking here at a lot of plasma around four corners of the sun right now, dancing and erecting off of the corona. And then you can see those outgoing couple sunspots there. So yes, I'm not sure what's going on, but not much for space weather. Indeed, ahead of this coronal hole wind stream, we're sitting now at 300 kilometers per second, and that's been on a downward spiral for the past day. Looking at the annual spiral for the space prediction, you can see that last CME in some models, it did show that it was coming our way. Looking here at Schumann resonance, a power of 8. We did see that small spike at around 6 p.m. yesterday. Looking at a base frequency of 7.83. Looking at earthquakes, busy 24-hour map. Most recent here, a small Alaska 2.7, but they've seen sizable earthquakes as well. 5.0 overnight that did put out a tsunami alert, and as well as 6.1 this morning. Now that one didn't put out a tsunami alert. North America rocking as well, 4.2 there, and as well 3.2 in Montana. Lots of earthquakes, Pinnacles, California, east and north of that as well. 2.9 there in Texas. Central America, Guatemala looking at 4.7s. Into the Dominican Republic, seeing some minor 2s and 3s still swarming there. They've seen about 7 earthquakes in the last 24 hours. South America, somewhat quiet, 4.4 there in Peru, and as well a 4.5 in Chile. 4.9 here, Easter Island. Moving south into South Sandwich Islands, Scotia Plate. 5.1 there, Shetland Islands, and as well 5.1 mid and Antarctic Ridge. So definitely some movement down in the south. After all of the movement in Antarctica, gotta wonder what's going on. We're seeing a lot of deep earthquakes around the planet right now. Still seeing minor aftershocks throughout Croatia. And Japan rocking today with a 5.0 and a 5.1. And as well a 4.1. Into the Kermadec, Fiji Islands, 4.4. Deepest earthquake last 24 hours, 601 kilometer depth. And that is the last 24 hours for earthquakes. And let's have a look at the last 7 days. As you can see, there are a lot of elevated rings right now on this map, especially the Fiji region. And we're not really seeing the larger earthquakes come after that. So we're kind of in a pause right now and waiting. Stay safe, stay aware and prepared, and just have a plan. That's what this is all about. This is not to fear. We just need to be aware and prepared. This is a very big planet, and a lot is changing, and we need to change with it and adapt to it. So that is the last 7 days for earthquakes from around the world. Busy planet, busy planet. And welcome to 2021. I'm sure that we're going to see an increase for earthquakes throughout this year. Looking here, Pacific Disaster Center, most recent volcanoes being updated. Popo in Mexico, Kluchevskoy in Russia, Savikaya in Peru, Suwanosejima in Japan, Reventador, Sangay, Kadavor as well, that's awake now, Era in Japan, Fuego, Sinabung, Dakono, Karamiski. So that's about 13 volcanoes being updated today, and one has awakened, and that is Kadavor. Looking at the largest earthquake here, the last 24 hours, 6.1 in Alaska, and you can see that large low pressure system is still spinning around there. Low pressure center just north of it, very deep lower level trough, and I expected the earthquakes to increase throughout Alaska throughout this week, and surely they have, throwing out tsunami watches overnight. Looking here, winter storms as the rain train continues into the west coast, and it's strange, but anything north is getting rain, and anything south is getting snow. It's all depending on your elevation and the temperature. Especially when we're looking at extreme cold temperatures in Mexico. In Europe, they're starting to feel some winter now. Higher elevations getting some winter storms. But just wait until the next system comes in through Spain, and you will see a dramatic difference. And that's that low pressure system just spinning to the west of Africa. We also have a tropical cyclone Danilo, who is heading slowly westward and could hit Mauritius on its way to Madagascar. We also have another tropical cyclone here, Imogen. Tropical cyclone Imogen is a category 2 heading into the Northwestern Territory and Queensland. Definitely going to bring a lot of moisture. It looks like the center of the low has lost its velocity, so the wind should die down, and then we'll see some moisture just float southward along the coast. Let's have a look at the 5-day forecast brought to you by MeteoEarth, Meteomike. Starting out here, overlooking Calgary, Alberta, and as well the rain train that continues to hit Pacific Coast, Vancouver, Victoria, Oregon, and straight up to Alaska. So starting out here, the next 4 days, you're not going to see much of the sun as these systems just keep coming in. And we'll watch for the winds to pick up Thursday into Friday, and then watch for the cold temperatures to come with it. So you might even get some snow on the coastline there, Vancouver. Overlooking Alberta, lovely Chinooks are hanging around, keeping above seasonable temperatures. And you can see those cold temperatures hanging around, higher elevations, but really drying things out still across North America right now. Very dry. Very dry. Not much to talk about for systems as well. Most of the big systems are wrapped up in the Atlantic and the Pacific right now. Looking here at the Atlantic and into Europe, low pressure system hanging around, really starting to cool things off with no sun. And then watch for the next system to come in out of the Atlantic, right into parts of Algeria, into Morocco, and Spain. So watch for an extreme weather event later in the week there. Daily evaporation rains throughout Africa, heavier through parts of South Africa later in the week. Tuesday into Wednesday as that system moves out. And then you're going to be dealing with extreme heat after that. Tropical cyclone Danilo looks like in this 5-day forecast won't be amounting to much. Overlooking Indonesia, Micronesia. Daily evaporation rains heavier towards Malaysia, Indonesia. And then the other tropical storm here, you can see the 5-day forecast showing it breaking up a little bit, and then most of the moisture just riding down the coastline. For Australia, other than that, no major systems to talk about, and not much ado in the southern hemisphere. But in the Northern Hemisphere, things are changing. And we've been documenting that largest low-pressure system on the planet in the Pacific. Very interesting days. Overlooking South America, daily evaporation rains. Heavier towards Paraguay, Bolivia, and down into the Brazil border. Later in the week, watch for this system to hang around for a couple days. Spin around the continent. Central America, not much forming in the way of tropical storms along the equator. Only thing to talk about is this large low pressure system in the Pacific and the cold temperatures that are going to be coming behind it. Minus 44, minus 40, minus 54 with the wind chill in some areas in Siberia, and those temps will be swinging around in the long range forecast. So stay safe, stay warm, stay aware and prepared. Leave you here looking at the major wind maps. Northern Hemisphere, major systems. Southern Hemisphere. Thanks for watching. Stay aware and prepared. Stay young and have fun. And get your morning dew. Bye-bye.
If you enjoyed today's video, please hit that like button, subscribe, share with your friends and family from across the world.